Okay, so we are going to be going over a couple of the basic display functions that your microbit can do. So we're using the Mu editor. Make sure that your mode is set to microbit. And at the top of your microbit program, you're going to need to add this line. This imports all of the functions built into the microbit library. So the ones that we're going to be using today from the microbit library are the basic functions that control the display. So here's the example that I want to start with. Display dot scroll, and then inside of these parentheses, you have the word hi. Now, display is going to be used in front of every line that we write to control a display. Scroll is one of the first functions we're going to use because it scrolls any of the text in a string that you have inside of the function. So it takes this, we would call this a parameter, and it plugs in whatever you want to type. So we could say, hello world, and this text, including the exclamation point, is going to scroll across the screen. Let's try it out. I'm going to press flash. This will flash to my microbit, and we should see hello world scroll across the screen. Now let's say you want to do that as a loop, so you never wanted it to end. Well, in Python, we can write a forever loop, just like this, while true. And then this needs to be indented. An easy way to remember to do that is to delete and bring it up to this line and then press enter, and Mu and most editors will actually indent that line for you. So now when we flash our program to the microbit, we should see hello world loop across the screen, and when it finishes, it's going to start right over again. This will happen forever. So in the meantime, let's try some other things out. I'm going to bring up the next line that I wrote here. Okay, so our next display function we're going to use is not scroll, but rather just show. Show lights up the lights on your microbit and just leaves them static. So instead of scrolling where the lights appear to be creating motion, this will just create a static image. And inside of this function, we have image.happy. This is just one example. I'm going to link to this, but there are tons of different images that you can use. These are all pre-built pictures that will light up on the screen of your microbit. So play around with these. They're a lot of fun. So when I flash this, the microbit, I should get a static image of a smiley face. Now, the last display function that I want to show you is it's actually still display dot show, but you don't have to use only the built-in images that Microbit comes with. You can also just light up the individual pixels or the individual light bulbs on the Microbit's surface, and you can light them up at whatever intensity that you want. So for example, in this case, we are going to not light up any of the bulbs that are marked as 0 here. We're going to light up these bulbs with the highest intensity, so 0 to 9 is the intensity level, and then each of these bulbs is a 5. So, it's a little bit higher than the middle range. You can kind of see that this is going to create this image of a boat. I guess we're going to call it a boat. And what we're doing is we're defining these bulbs inside of a variable that we're calling boat, and we're using image to save these bulbs and whatever intensity we chose all together inside of boat And whenever we want to call that and light up these bulbs in that order, we just do display.show, and normally, or usually, you'll be using pre-built things like, image.happy, for example, like we did in our last example. But in this case, we're going to be using the variable that we just created, boat. And when we flash this, we should see our boat light up.